लारकाना एक हॉटबेड था HIV और एड्स।
आपके काम के दौरान do you often see patients of HIV? Do you often come across them? बच्चे या उनकी family?
After Tonsa, and I saw where this child said, no one wants to play with me. I thought, bas, we have to be on the road. We have to be on.
जो आप HIV के patients देखते हैं वहाँ पे जो positive हैं, do they get regular treatment? Do they get some welfare support? Do they get some government, continued engagement and support? आपने कभी screening की भी कोशिश की है?
जी सर, we thought कि हम एक screening camp भी लगाएं, मगर मैंने सोचा कि follow up एक बहुत अहम चीज़ है। अगर कोई positive निकलेंगे तो obviously we need to follow up. So we had some tests already. कुछ लोगों ने donate किया, मैंने देखा कि ये सही है, they're not expired. If a doctor tries to give you like a नंगी सुई, उनको सख्ती से मना करें, ये आपकी बुनियादी हक है।
आपका कैसे सामना हुआ HIV के मरीजों के साथ? आपको कैसे पता लगा कि ये HIV के मरीज हैं और how you got involved?
So I knew काफ़ी साल से, in fact बचपन से मुझे पता था कि early 2000 से कि लारकाना एक hotbed था HIV और AIDS।
Why you say that?
एक hotbed क्योंकि ये उसका एक इमेज बन गया लारकाना की, कि वहाँ पे सेक्स वर्क भी बहुत ज़्यादा होता है, वहाँ पे ड्रग्स भी बहुत ज़्यादा होते हैं। एक पता नहीं अफवाह होते थे या ऐसे, मगर उसका इमेज वो बन गया।
Okay.
And it was a hotbed of HIV in Pakistan. काफी सारे cases थे, and I think one of the first HIV wards in Sindh, if I'm not mistaken, was set up in Larkana Civil Hospital in Around, dedicated specifically to HIV. I could be wrong. So I developed an interest because Larkana is my hometown, and if the people of my hometown are suffering in such a way, I bear some responsibility. And my family name is used often to justify many bad practices in Larkana. So I've always felt a sort of responsibility. And I've always kept up an interest in how HIV has been spreading in Pakistan for the past 20 years. फिर जब मैं अमेरिका से वापस आया,
Which year?
2019 में, तब रतोडेरो से ये आउटब्रेक हुआ।
बिल्कुल।
In which around
May 2019.
May 2019. And they were around, official figure is 1,000. It could be much more as far as people I've spoken to on the ground. And most of them were children. And there was a lot of blame going around कि एक ही डॉक्टर ने जानबूझ के किया, इस तरह का, उस तरह का. I just didn't believe it. Okay, one doctor on purpose is doing it. This is a systematic failure. And so I started making videos every year on December 1st on World HIV and AIDS Day. कि AIDS और HIV में क्या फ़र्क होता है और HIV कैसे फैलता है और कैसे आप अपने आप को महफूज रख सकते हैं। फिर मुझे पता चला कि पाकिस्तान में एंटीरेट्रोवायरल ट्रीटमेंट मुफ्त में कोई भी हासिल कर सकता है। So this is a great thing. This is a great gift. From I don't know who, but from somebody, what the international community or whatever. So people should avail of these facilities. You have to just set up registration with the National AIDS Control Program. And even as a preventative, if people are living that kind of lifestyle, even as a preventative, it can be taken. And the fact that it's mostly children. Now, another thing in Pakistan is there's so much hate against HIV positive people. I have in my life known many HIV positive people who are my friends. I have shared meals with them. I have shared company with them. And it makes no sense to me that there should be any hate towards someone who is HIV positive, let alone a child. And these children need to grow up in a country that does not hate them. They will already have an immunocompromised life. Like you said, the younger children, especially when we were speaking earlier, have a very low mortality chance of survival. Which honestly, when you told me that, I almost cried. It breaks my heart to know that because one doctor or technician decided he was too lazy or whatever to change the needle, that they should die. Now, those who are surviving, what is the quality of their life? If the government can't change their quality of life, if the government can't give them a life worth living, then it's up to us to change our society, to change the minds of our people.
जी बिल्कुल। मैं हमेशा इसके बारे में कहता हूँ कि दो चीज़ें, एक तो ये कि ये एक कलेक्टिव फेलियर है
बिल्कुल,
of successive governments,
बिल्कुल,
and we have worked hard to achieve this public health crisis where we are. आपके काम के दौरान do you often see patients of HIV? Do you often come across them? बच्चे या उनकी families, इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा बताएं.
Oof. You know, as soon as we announced our campaign.
When did you do that?
It's only been a few weeks. I think we started, I don't have the date. I can look on my phone. But it's been less than a month.
Was it after Tonsa?
It was after Tonsa.
Acha.
After Tonsa, before Tonsa, I was already doing those videos on HIV AIDS Awareness Day. I was already doing my best to be proactive.
Okay.
Then after Tonsa, and I saw where this child said, no one wants to play with me. I thought, bas, we have to be on the road now. We have to be on the road. As soon as I made the announcement, I got messages from people of their loved ones who were dying. One case was this young man in his mid-20s. I can say his name because his friends and family have revealed it. Otherwise, of course, discretion is key. Abid Ali Solangi. He was a healthy young man. One day.
Where exactly?
He's from Kandiaro in Sindh, Kandiaro district. And he was a healthy man one day, a graduate in English literature from Sindh University.
20 years of age.
20-something. Mid to late 20s. And, his parents had both died. Situation with his remaining family members was not
Parents
good.
have died because of it?
No, they had died for separate reasons. But he had sent me a video. One of his friends had sent me a video of him laying in a hospital bed, completely wasting away, skin and bones only. And then he sent me a picture of him from just 2 months earlier. Very healthy individual. And I saw his reports, HIV positive. And because HIV being HIV positive is an immunodeficiency, it's an immunocompromised state, your body becomes open to many other diseases. If your viral load increases very high and your white blood cell count decreases very low, any and everything will affect you. So he also had 2 strains of hepatitis, and he also had tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is
there is a strong association.
There is a strong association. Pakistan is number 5 in tuberculosis in the world. Where are we in HIV? We don't know, because people like to suppress the statistics. But I think there is potentially a correlation there too. Mm-hmm. I went to visit him because I knew he was going to die. He most likely had crossed over from HIV to AIDS. And so I took the car, he was at the hospital, GIMS hospital in Khairpur, very good hospital, a cancer specialist hospital. The doctors didn't really know what to do with him. They didn't understand HIV very well. They had done the test, they knew he had HIV, they knew he had all these other things, but they didn't have they were like, well, we need to do his viral load to see if we can give him the medicine. It looks like his viral load is pretty high. And that's a very old way of thinking also, to check the viral load before giving medication. Now you just see if they're HIV positive, you start them on antiretroviral treatment. It's simple. And they didn't know what to do. So they transferred him to Sakhar HIV ward. There was no medicine there. They transferred him to Nawabshah. No medicine there.
And this is all like...
within 2 days.
Wow.
I went, and then a day even, about 36 hours. And then, I had left to go to Hyderabad to start our campaign. By the time we started our campaign, he had died. And he didn't have to die.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were in Hyderabad, there was I went to see a family. The mother, father, and young 8-year-old daughter all had HIV. They lost a son to HIV. But by the time that the daughter was born, they found out that they were all HIV positive, and they began antiretroviral treatment. And then I met another young 3-year-old from a middle-class family. He had many other health complications. And then HIV compounded them. It became another one. He got it from a civil hospital. His parents were both negative. And he got it from civil hospital. No question, no conversation. What is the compensation the government will give?
I was just going to come to that point. जो आप HIV के पेशेंट्स देखते हैं वहाँ पे जो पॉजिटिव हैं, do they get regular treatment? Do they get some welfare support? Do they get some government, continued engagement and support?
I would love to say yes, and I think some do. I think many do. I went and visited the Hyderabad Civil Hospital HIV ward. The doctors were very, very active. They had 3-4 field workers there also who had come. And the doctor, one of the lady doctors, was saying, please, 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 if you know someone who's HIV positive, you can speak to them, you can talk to them, you can love them, you can hug them, you can hold them. You could tell in her voice that she was really having difficulty. And the doctors, they try and do screening programs, screening camps, but they're blocked from doing them. One doctor said, we're trying to go to LUMS in Hyderabad, there's a LUMS in Hyderabad, to do a screening camp there, and they're stopping us. So please, can you write a letter? And I did, I wrote a letter. It's been noted. I don't know if anything will happen. Inshallah, I hope they do. But they face obstacles. There are very genuine people who want to serve people in the government,
right.
and in the HIV within the HIV wards who are not being allowed to. So, but then the other thing is there's a lot of negligence, there's a lot of laziness that people tell me that okay, they go to get HIV, and then suddenly their file is closed and they're written off as cured. The most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. HIV has no cure. HIV, of course, when you take the antiretroviral, it should be known by everybody. Once you're taking the medication, you are undetectable. You cannot pass on the disease either through sexual intercourse or even from mother to child. You are pretty much the safest person in the room. But you have to keep taking it for the rest of your life to maintain your undetectable status until there is a cure.
Low viral load.
Your low viral load. Now they're being written off as cured and their medicine is being stopped. हम गांव-गांव जाते हैं, शहर-शहर जाते हैं, स्कूल-स्कूल जाते हैं, जहां पे भी हम जा सकते, किसी के घर पे भी हम जाएंगे, कोई भी चीज हम लेडीज को सेपरेट करते हैं, जेंट्स एंड लेडीज को सेपरेट करते हैं. हमारे वॉलंटियर्स होते हैं, लैब टेक्नीशियंस या नर्सेस या डॉक्टर्स, lady and gents, and there's a script we give them. थोड़ा सा it's like call and response. हमारा नारा है, आवाज उठाना फर्ज है, खामोशी जुर्म है. So we do this nara back and forth, and we say, HIV chai. We ask the audience कि तांके छा खबर है, आपको क्या पता है HIV के बारे में. फिर वो हमें बताते हैं, हम उनको, we don't correct them, we wait. फिर हम उनको सही मालूमात पेश करते हैं.
मैंने आपके पम्फलेट्स भी देखे.
जी, ये हमारे पम्फलेट है, ये उर्दू पम्फलेट है, हमारी सिंधी जुबान में भी pamphlet hai. This was designed by Riza Abbas, a fantastic human being, and हम इनको इसी तरह बनाते ताकि अगर आपको पढ़ना या लिखना नहीं आती तो फिर आप
तस्वीरें देख के भी,
बिल्कुल तस्वीरें देख के फिर समझ आएंगे. And this is our hope, and we do a whole session. We talk about mostly family, मगर हम taboo subjects की तरफ जाते हैं. We talk about sex within the marriage or outside of the marriage. We try and hint at that. We don't want कि कोई हमारा काम अभी in the name of decency रुके, because obviously this is an issue that affects families now. This is an issue that affects children. We don't have to go immediately to controversial topics. Maybe in the future, but for now, no. And we talk about that. We talk about what are the rights within marriage, getting your HIV test before you sign the nikahnaama. If the husband marries another wife, that wife should also get it. If your husband is a laborer, they should also be getting tested regularly. What is the threats towards women and children, that you can pass it on to your child, you can pass it on through breast milk. We try and make sure, we also try and end the stigma and the hate. Primarily.
Major issue.
Major issue is stigma. Once we're done with that, we say, you can't get HIV from touching someone, sitting next to someone. And we've noticed there's a big difference between rural and urban attitudes. In the urban field, like I was saying, there was this 3-year-old child who had it. In the urban field, even doctors didn't want to come near this child. People did not want to, for fear of unnecessary fear of getting infected. But in the rural setting, there are so many diseases, there are so many problems. In a very Dehi, Sindhi setting, unfortunately, people just see it as one of many diseases.
Right.
So there's not so much nafrat as such, but in a more sort of like periphery urban or working class or middle class setting, there is, a certain prejudice. So we really try and end this. We try and end this idea because at the end of the day, it's about a quality of life as well as access to healthcare.
So you go to families, you go to organizations, you go to schools, and you raise awareness among them.
Yes.
आपने कभी स्क्रीनिंग की भी कोशिश की है?
जी सर, we thought कि हम एक screening camp भी लगाएं, मगर मैंने सोचा कि follow up एक बहुत अहम चीज़ है. अगर कोई positive निकलेंगे तो obviously we need to do follow up. So we had some tests already. कुछ लोगों ने donate किया, मैंने देखा कि ये सही है, they're not expired and all of these things. Kits जो हैं. In fact, there are kits available for people to buy, and this may be our key towards something. But we did some testing amongst our own groups, the doctors that were volunteering with us. And before I came, they did us a sample of 10 people, which they knew, people they knew. And they were all very confident that they would come out negative. 2 people came out positive out of 10.
Out of 10? And they were general public. They were not any high risk groups, कोई drug users या कोई sex workers या कोई ऐसी बात नहीं.
Working people.
ये कब की बात है?
बस 1 हफ्ते की बात है.
1 हफ्ता पहले.
मैं तो अभी आया हूँ हैदराबाद से.
तो हैदराबाद में 10 लोगों को randomly आपने टेस्ट किया और उनमें से 2 पॉजिटिव थे और ये दोनों एडल्ट थे.
1 female.
1 male and 1 female. Okay.
So this is alarming.
So are you going to continue the screening?
Abhi to now I want to get in touch with some doctors associations and do the screenings.
Right.
And do the screenings and make sure we have some infrastructure for follow-up.
Right.
Because people must.
So that they can be referred and they have a proper treatment.
And then they can get registered and get their medication. And that's the only thing they need to do. They just need to get their medication. They need to take their medication. After 3 months, they will be undetectable. They will be very safe. And that's it. There'll be a block in the chain.
Right. अच्छा ये बताएं कि चूँकि आपने रतो डेरो का जिक्र किया, अभी तौसा में भी disposable reusable syringe is one of the major culprits.
Yes.
तो आप अपनी कैंपेन में इस सिलसिले में क्या कर रहे हैं?
हम लोगों को सुई दिखाते हैं और हम कहते हैं कि अगर टीका लगवा रहे हो पहले सोचें कि वो शुड यू
कि टीका लगवाने की जरूरत
भी है या नहीं. बट ऑफ कोर्स लोग बहुत जिद करते हैं इस पर. वी आर ट्राइंग टू गेट थ्रू अ लॉट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन फास्ट. सो वी से कि मेक श्योर यकीनी बनाएं कि डॉक्टर टीका आपको इस तरह दे रहे बंद हुआ पैकेट से. If a doctor tries to give you like a नंगी सुई, उनको सख्ती से मना करें. ये आपकी बुनियादी हक है और हम उनको भी कहते हैं कि हक का भी हम समझते हैं कि डॉक्टर को हम इनकार नहीं कर सकते, मुकाबला नहीं कर सकते, उनसे बात भी नहीं कर सकते. In these government clinics, doctors shout at patients. They're not nice. So people feel very worried. They feel very intimidated. So we tell them, you have to make sure that the doctor is giving it to you in a closed packet, and it's your right to stop him. It's your fundamental right to stop him. It's about your children's fundamental right of survival. Now, how effective will this be? I don't know. Because what are available syringes? There's a whole economy around reselling new syringes and simply reusing old ones. And it's a very cruel practice and demeaning practice to reuse a syringe, not just because of the infections, but it's painful because the syringe once used is blunt, and they're shoving it from person to person, and it's this awful dehumanizing thing, and we lack so much humanity in Pakistan. This is a very much bigger issue than this, but so we do try and tell them about this. I've noticed in Larkana, I've seen that there, especially the larger 10 gauge or
10 cc.
10 cc syringes, they don't come with the click lock system,
Auto disable.
the auto disable system, which is very concerning because there could potentially also be a market for literally cleaning out needles and repackaging and selling. I mean, it's a mess. The system we're in is a mess.